It's on my light. Ah, blind. Damn it. Hey Greg, hey Carl, hey Tech Fortress. Tech Fortress, right, got it. Not sure why my screens decided to be a little bit bleak. Let's see if I can get the exposure up. If I can even work it out. Make sure I've got the right one. Yes, I've got the right one. Brightness. Yeah, that's just making things bright. Okay, so what about that brightness overall? We disable something. Exposure. Manual mode. Yeah, I think I know what the problem is there's a light and it's reflecting up too much, so we'll just blind everybody. That'll be okay. Nobody minds. Alrighty. I've pretty much cleaned up most of my backlog of boards that I had. I've ended up with about 5 or 6 3437s and two 165s. And this is the last one that I have, and I can't seem to get it to work yet, so I thought I'd give it a shot on stream while I'm doing it. Hey, what the? Yes, Christmas all over for everybody. Oh, good. Animath, yes, I am from Australia. Hey, Mark Jackson. Alright. So, I'm going to guess we don't have a PM Sleep S4L. So at least that's my first guess. Let's see if we're right. You just plug it in, it sits there and goes, not today, Paul, not today. So, get out of MagSafe. 105 milliamp though is a little unusual. Hey, cop it now. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Dan. You better not work. Yeah, it's 105, 107 just sits there, doing nothing else. So let's see. I'm pretty sure this is PM Sleep. Oh, I actually do have PM Sleep S4L. Well, that just made it more interesting. In a good way. Oops. Alright. Let's see if we can switch over to the everything view. You're not the everything view. Oh well. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. Let's see. S4L. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that one. Yep, definitely 3.3. Let's see if it... I just noticed the multimeter isn't in that either. Why no meter? Okay, that's better. The joy of changing things around yeah. No idea what that does. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, I've got a sub-screen within my little screen. Okay. Yeah. Sorry folks, you just have to get used to me stuffing around here a bit. No. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, oh by the way, a new feature in Flex Boardview. Well, I've been working on this a little bit. Let me just change the screen to be slightly... No, we don't want color preferences. Let's see... Small font for the info panel. Let's switch it up to the big so everybody can see. As you know, I've been working on the open board data, but I've also got the new board notes and solutions thing. So like a common thing that we have is running out of PM Sleep S4L, and I've now got a rail guide where you can just sort of like click on your PM Sleep S4L, and if that's not there, then you click on this, and you can go get your RTC, then check your RTC reset, and that one doesn't exist. Then you enter vermin and all, so and you just go through the rails, and then you can check them off. It makes it much easier than before, going back and forth how it was before. And yeah, so I'll just start creating all these little sequence guides, aim for things like what rails are missing, like if you're going through trying to find out where your 105 is. So we're going to take this board out. Yeah, Covet, Lewis dropped that rather unexpected apology on me. Really, it's more of like, it was kind of his way of saying, I'm sorry for the people that didn't realise I was joking, sort of thing, as opposed to him explicitly apologising to me. That's okay, same end effect in this case. Just need to get a... Oh, there they are. Mark Jackson, with regards to jobs, I think the hardest thing that we have is getting untampered jobs. Because inevitably what happens is well, I don't know about the others, but inexperienced newcomers to the field will tend to advertise more extensively at a cheaper price. And so consequently they pick up a lot of the jobs that are that are around, because everybody goes by price. Now, then what happens is when they stuff up the job, they then come looking for the people who can do the job, and they get to us. Well, okay, I'm kind of inflating my capabilities there, and so we end up with these butchered jobs which tend to have a lower success rate than the others, and so it gets really frustrating. That's really the big problem, is we're ending up with jobs that are messes of other people, and inevitably the person who owns the machine also can't pay for the services anymore because they've just spent a bunch of money on the person who couldn't do the job. So yeah, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Alright, so 105. Oh man. How did you just sink down a little bit low there? 105. Not really sure what I'm going to be looking for over there. At 18, that's about 2 watts of heat. So if it is anything, I doubt it's shorted, but yeah. Not even sure what I'd be looking for. I'll probably just have to start going through the rails. This is going to be boring as hell. This is one that I put through the ultrasonic only because I think when I was... Obviously I've taken the J tag off, so there must have been a fair bit of corrosion, given that I generally don't do that. Let's see if there's anything with this connector. 105. What on earth? I think I really am just going to have to check those rails. And unfortunately, I haven't built a sequence for it yet. So maybe I could do that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong there. So it looks like one rail, it's been wet and it's been chewing away at one end. Let's check our voltages such as SMC and things like that, RTC. Because even though we've got PM Sleep S4L, maybe we're missing something else. Christensen, you lost your GitHub account? Oh man, I'd be doomed if that happened. I've got a couple, but I really wouldn't want to lose any of them. .6, that's fine. 342 should be fine too. Yep, that's fine. Let's check out the RTC section since that's a popular death point. 3.3, just hold on it for a bit, see if it does anything. Oh yeah, what happened there? Okay, so we've got a reset on the 3v3. Ooh, either that or I just scratched the hell out of that. Was that just my meter probe? Maybe it was just the meter probe. That seems steady. Hey Tektronix. All syspower. Holy shit. Troublemakers here. Let's see. Let's check all syspower. Good. Which bloody one's that? Yeah, it was the one I thought. By the way, Lewis, since you're here, this is the new sort of feature that I was talking that hopefully you'll find useful. Like if you're missing PM Sleep Fest 4L, I've now sort of got a built-in sequence to help you try and remember all the things. So you just click on the rail, it takes you to pick your point, then you go to the next one, the next one, the next one, so on and so forth until you find. And obviously you can do that same thing for you do the same thing for any of the other sequences you want to have, so you don't have to remember all the time. I'm not sure if I'm hearing sarcasm in your voice or not. Yeah, we're missing this PM Sleep S4L. All syspower good. I need to fix up my... Let me try to fix up my all-in-one. Okay, what do we need? This should be quarter of the size. Okay. That's more like it. Yep. Advertising on. Yep. No, not you. Useless view. Combo. Yeah. What am I missing? Schematic. That should be PDF. Properties. Hey, back to normal. Alright. Okay. Does FlexBoardview have an Android version? No, it does not. How dare you? It's almost as bad as asking for a Mac version. Oh wait, Mac version does exist. Alright, what's missing out of here? Get 3U3S5, pin 6, in the middle. Don't do this enough. Okay, we've got 3v3. Hey Bailey. Erica snores. Somehow I don't think that's true. 5. Vmon Cubase 2. Okay, so oh, that's 5, yeah, so... Okay. 3v3S5, pin 6. So we got that. .6 on what? Oh, that's Cubase, so that's fine. Pin 1. That's a little low. 0.7 volts on 1v5 SO. Alright. Wait, did I just measure the wrong thing? Alright. Let's see. Cap pull denotes bad chip. What? You want to fix the cap pull denotes bad chip for Lewis is currently incoherent. Sorry folks, sort of a bit sloppy around here at the moment because I'm still getting used to this damn, well I shouldn't say damn setup, I'm still getting used to this setup. I'm just going through and seeing what does what here. Okay, that's produced by U78 70. Where are you? Up there. Yeah, you're that fella there. Alright. What's this? How far away from the fires are you? I'm actually quite a long way from the fires. I mean, we've got some brutal heat out here, but fortunately, none of it really is... We're not really being subjected to fire issues because we don't really have a lot of fuel here on the ground. It's just too sparse. So we've got 3.3. We've got 1v8. I went to computer to escape Erica's snoring. Now you have flexible... What are you doing with flexibility on there? You haven't paid for that license. I'm going to send the BBC, whatever they call over there. Wait. That's producing 1v5 SO there. If that's producing 1v5, why am I not getting it over there? Did I just read the wrong pin again? No. U7600 has corroded C7615. Now, if only I could translate that. So, C7615. C7615. C7615 right above directly. Yeah. They're all a bit like that. It'll be too low in voltage. So what are you saying, Lewis? That I should replace that? You're going to turn me into a bit of a robot when you turn up, don't you? No, the cap seems... So this is repairing a MacBook by virtue. So Lewis is virtual signaling a MacBook repair. What I don't get though, Lewis, is that the 1v5 on, where are you? Here. Oh, you can't see it. Why is 1v5 only point, unless... No, that still doesn't make sense. Wait, 2 milliamps through 1k is 2 volts. Actually, no, that makes sense. PP1VO... Oh, 1VO5. Damn it. PP1VO5. Now I know why Lewis just just ignores everybody. It's too frustrating trying to keep track of everything everyone's suggesting. Okay, that's the big cap up at the top. By the way, the store progress looks good there, Lewis. Clearly Paul's been beating the hell out of people, so that's good. Yeah, we've got nothing on 1VO5. A1466 stand is a stand one with pin one corrodes around the wrist. Imagine you no, I'm not. You're a noob. 8158. God damn you, man. You're gonna make me hate you even more than usual. 8158. That's the second pair off out to the part. Yeah, that's got a little bit of corrosion on it. And you're right, I think that's lifted. You can see, no, maybe you're, no, I think you're wrong. Let's see. You better be open. Oh, it'll be open when it's done. 9.4. So it's probably a 10k. 15k. Alright, let's set up the divider. 3v3 SO. I really should just ban Lewis from the channel because he distracts everyone. And then of course Lewis is going to say, well, if you did a better job, that wouldn't be a distraction. 0.76, that seems pretty good for the divider. Someone bought a Razer headset and mouse. Okay, I think it's time to just ignore Lewis. Yes, it does look fine, doesn't it? Okay, 0.78 there. Probably should have full 1.5 here. Yeah, okay. That's what's happening. It's just pulling 2 milliamps through it, and that 2 milliamps over 1k causes the drop. You'll work with itself, I'm sure. So it's a problem that I just don't have 5 years out. And we're back. Just took the guts out of a mouse. So it's all good. Pedro, funny you should make those sort of comments because I was just watching the original Star Trek last night. My goodness. What a flashback. Alright, so we just don't have 5 years, so... and of course more on Daniels. Yeah, I should know where this is created, but for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Someone scream at me, ISL. Oh dear God, how many 5SOs are there? D-Sinister, you probably could, but it's rare. Really rare. Yeah, 5ESO comes off the 5ESO switch, U8084. 8080 rather. Did U7600 get replaced in that microphone battery pack? What? No. Let's check U7600. Where are you? Well, that's exactly where everyone was talking. Oh, that's hilarious. We've got 5 volts there. A little overshoot actually, 5.1. And we haven't got the view, microscope. There we go. Okay, so we've got 5.1 coming out of there. Lewis, if replacing 7600 puts you to sleep, then I'm probably disinclined to do that, just for you. Lewis is truly one of the best users I have ever had. Honestly, there's probably not a thing that he can't break. The man is a machine. PP5 ESO. Okay, so we don't have 5 ESO showing up here, but we do have it showing up here. That's a cracker. Oh, goes in. God, I'm starting to hate you. 1V05. I was looking at the wrong one. Damn you, Lewis. That's true, okay. Let's replace 7600 to get the bragging rights. Then at least that's off my plate. Pin 2 on 7600. It doesn't look messed up, but I'm gonna lean into the experience of the greatest user out. If it's not present, I will donate $10. You know, you should just do that anyway. It's funny you should say that Lewis uses my software better than me, because that's actually entirely truthful. Because you got to realise he uses that probably a good 10 times as much as I do every day. I'm just the programmer. I write stuff that I think they're going to want, and then I wait to hear the screams of the users one way or another. Screams of joy or screams of hatred. Developers do not make good users in general, but not in in the way that the problem with developers is that they subconsciously avoid the problematic areas in their code. You can't, they just inherently know where the issues are in the code, and they will just walk around it. And that's why you need people like Mr. Rossmann. He just goes at it like a crazy blind bull in a china shop and breaks everything he can. He's influencing the board to work. You better do that. Because otherwise it's going to be lonely all on its lonesome self while 6 or 7 of its buddies sit in my to be used one day pile. That's the trouble. I've now got to... Oh, for frick's sake. Lewis, this flux of yours, I tell you, I don't know if it's gone old or the formula's wrong or what, but it has a notorious habit of just... Well, it's like you. Just when you need it, it takes a walk. Yeah, I'll do. It's the flux. If this works, I'm making the video. Oh, Jesus. That said, you know, you don't need me for that. You know damn well that your forum are well worth the money. I absolutely get every cent I pay's worth out of that forum. And I do my best to make sure that everybody who asks me questions gets sent to that forum. Because in all honesty, it actually is an excellent resource. Even if you're not asking questions yourself, just being able to go through and see what other people have asked, because more than likely, most of the time, your problem's already been solved by a Duke somewhere. Second Informatics has eyesight problems. Okay. I guess it depends on what sort of eyesight problem it is, but either way, that's still... I guess a few of us have hidden things. Ah, you fat blighter. Oh, Lewis, did you get your status back on YouTube? C76. No, I'm not touching it. I want to make sure that we've checked things. Do one thing at a time, then test. Otherwise, you sit there and you go, well, which bit was it that worked? Was it the influencer? Was it 7600? Or was it the cat? We wouldn't know if we do it all at once. Stop pushing me, man. Your strike is still there. Blimey heck. You do not fix boards on a... No, I don't. Oh, no. It's still 108, 105. Not good. Looks like that's a downer. No win. Alright. Let's fix up that shonky cap anyway. Don't send it through YouTube, for God's sake. 7615. I'd say the 7615 is probably the real cause. So you realise if I had replaced 7615, then Lewis could have won the bet, but it wouldn't have been because of exactly what he said. Yeah, see how that's... Yeah, it might still be okay, but we'll get rid of it. Wonder what its purpose is. You're just okay, you're a stability cap for the divider output going into reference into the 7600. So you're quasi-important. You're not like super important, but you are quasi-important. You're more important than the standard regular decoupling bread and butter jelly bean caps. Uh, 1VO5, no, it hasn't been measured because I was busy testing other things and you were all hyperactive and trying to push your New York style of life on me. And I thought I'd just try and shut you up, so I just went along and did the 7600. I thought, there's no way I'm going to get this guy to calm down. And geez, what did Erica do? She feed you catnip? Pad under 50, 81, 58. Alright, okay, that... I don't want to bet against that because I actually would believe that. That would be a far more realistic thing. 81.58. Alrighty. Well, it doesn't look that bad, to be honest. But hey, this is your bet. I'm using a flux, get stuffed. I'm not trying to create a global environmental issues. Oh no, all the pads are still there. What are we gonna do, Lewis? The pads are still there. This one looks worse, to be honest. If it wasn't so entertaining, I'd just ignore you right now, but it's entertaining to see what you're suggesting. it's also interesting as to why it would be quite disastrous if I turned up in New York, because my goodness, if we tried to fix a board on a live stream together, it would probably end up with multiple cans of free spray being dispensed. You watch, it's probably going to be that little sucker up there. What is this? U1930 power good line. Yeah. Yeah, I think I need to get back to what I was actually originally doing before Lewis interfered. That was eating ice cream and drinking coffee. Still 110. Alright. Now we're actually going to have to use our brains, I think. Because this is a bit ridiculous. It's probably a dead CPU. Is Anel in chat? Oh, come on, Lewis. You never know. With an L around, he has the reality distortion field effect. He's got the Steve Jobs effect. He can make anything happen. Okay, what's this power good? The thing with the all-sys power good circuit here is that it actually has to be pulled up from the other side. This transistor construction here, yeah, it basically, so open, pulls the P channel in down to ground, which should then cause it to open and draw. What's pin 2 of U7600? Man, this is the other problem, is I'm not a strong enough person to deny the whims. Okay, pin 2 with the big fat cat. Damn it. We got 105. 8167. 8167 pulled up by that. Yeah. Okay, I do want to check that. Which is on the other side of the... not the... what? Okay, so that's good. Yeah, it's definitely being pulled down. This will be bad. Q8150, R8160. Well, R8167 seems to be okay. 10K. Change our multimeter. Just verify it. Yeah, that's pretty much smack on 10K. Q8150. Pin 2 and 3, 7400. I do wish I could just click on your chat. That would make life so much easier. 7400. What you want? 2 and 3. What do they do? Their voltage input. Interesting. Very different pins, but yep. Voltage. Wait. Why am I lost? Bloody hell. Was that a crack under that? Anyway. Pin 2, 1.1. Yeah, 1.9, so that's pretty good. Pin 3, 0. Pin 3, 0.6 it should be. Okay. 7400. Pin 3 is 0. Who the hell's he talking to? Yeah, no memory voltage. You know, Lewis, you make me look like a complete idiot around here. You do a fine job of that, good sir. I really should just... I'm cleaning up stuff, alright? That's triggering me. I'm a great big blob of solder there. And then I'll go on looking for my memory. Get off. Thank you. Alright, we don't have memory voltage. I have actually dealt with a couple of those. Question is why. Go in. What's that cap connected to? That crack under the cap there seems a little weird. Are you a crack or are you just filth? I think you were just filth. Alright. Alright, let's check all our lines for this to see what we've got going on. If you are lucky, your neighbour's present, but not on U7400. If you're semi-lucky, no. If you're unlucky. Oh no, man. Yeah, you and I do not work well together. You keep proposing things that do not happen. Okay, so we've got our 5 volts in. We've got our LDO in anyway, so we know that. Yep. There's our enable line. Then power 17 and 16. Okay, we've got enable on 16. We do not have enable on 17. 17 is S3 though. Oh, Lewis, it's doom, man. We got no 17. Shit, we just shorted it. Yep, 0 volt on 17. Don't. So what's the Rossmann say now? Liquid never makes it to U1970. It could if it was truly drowned. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that kind of looks pretty clean to me. Let's see if we've got the prerequisites anyway. One point two. 2. Oh, thank goodness we got a test pad up there just by the triple. Got nothing on that. So we do not have a signal coming from CPU memvtt. Enable. And that comes from the CPU. So the CPU is not telling it to turn on. Fun. Ah, crap. Throw it in the donor bin, yeah, it's probably pretty much going to be it. Bugger. Speaking of bad luck, yeah, it's so Lewis, yeah, CPU dead, hey? Thought it didn't happen at 100 milliamps. Let me try some of the other random suspects that have got weird bits of corrosion around them anyway. Because like this here, there's a bit of corrosion there. I'm not saying it's not the CPU, but I do want to at least have a look. And I should change that cap. Hey Annex. Hey Bumper Parent. RTC, yeah, I've already checked that. Shush, Lewis, it might not be the CPU. If you say nice things to it, yeah, it's the CPU. But you were so adamant. You were so adamant. With your classic New York gutso, reassurance, unwavering belief in yourself. And you took my hand and led me down the rabbit hole. Well done. Well played. That chip could be used on a board that is not some broken strand. VCC power good, area being low, cause 500 milliamp and 24 spike. Now I know how fun it is to be annoying each. Yeah, that's true. You are being a. Yeah. Well, it's fine when people are actually listening to you. That's the real hard part, is when you're desperately trying to tell someone something and the 1,000 other people in chat just keep drowning you out. That is extremely frustrating. Particularly when you're trying to tell you that you got a short or something like that. You need a hotline, a red phone hotline. That's a shame. I was hoping this would be okay. But it would appear it is not. Oh well. Can't win them all. Just re-hot the CPU. I don't think so. Oh well. Fortunately, this was just a random one of many that I had. I thought I'd give a shot. Just the downside is, it's a 1.6 and it's 8 gigs of RAM on it. I wonder if I could move the 8 gigs to another board. Speaking of which, can you move the RAM, say like from the 8 gigs without to a 4 gig board without having to change any bootstrap configuration, resistors or anything like that? I'm just asking. Into the bin, next board. Let's have a look what we've got. I'd say we've got bloody well nothing because I've pretty much emptied everything out. Let's have a stuff around. See if I can kick something. I do have a whopping great Vega machine here that someone's been wanting me to diagnose and fix, and I've just never been in the mood to do it. Come here. Some prehistoric thing. Not a big fan of the prehistorics. I can't even remember what the actual fault on this is, other than the fact that the bottom plate just fell off. Get you out of the way. You can both go into the donor board collection. This better not be a 2915. What's the ZMR 6200? Is that the Zalma or whatever the damn well name is? Is this 2915? Oh, it's a 3330. Oh, okay. Cool. 3330. What could possibly be wrong with you? Nothing goes wrong with the 3330. Apparently the display, I think, on this one goes in and out, has issues. But I don't really have a lot of experience with them. I've got one for myself, and I'm probably more inclined to give the person... I'm probably actually more inclined to take the hard drive, move it to a solid state, throw that drive into mine that I'm not going to do anything with, and just give them the whole machine. Because, yeah, do I really want to go through and try and fix this? Replace the CPU. BIOS has to be reprogrammed. Oh, okay, I'll stuff that. U8900, no, not on the 3330, that's the 3332. The 3330 is the new improved working version of the 2915 basically. Data recovery, yeah, we won't even need it, I'll just clone it across. So we've got 2 gigs. If anything, this has probably just got a battery connected while I pull out the RAM. It's probably got something just like a memory slot issues. This is why I don't really want to touch this. There's nothing blatantly obvious on it, and it's a pain in the butt to take out. Everyone that year opted for the Retina, so there's not a lot of them out there. It might identify as a 3332, yeah. I don't think I'm going to bother with this one. This one's just going to be a pain. Like I said, I'm probably going to take the one that I have and just give it to them. They can have it as a Christmas present because I really don't want it in my workshop anymore. Alright, Lewis, actually... I was going to be cruel. I've got a 1398 that has an intermittent crash, but that would just be too cruel. Let's see, where is it? Where are you? Oh, hidden in a safe place, naturally. Yeah, things are a bit quiet around here because I cleared the queue and now there's nothing and it's boring as heck. Except when I kick stuff. Let's have a look. I'm not sure which year model this is. All I know is it's got a whopping great big drive. This is actually mine. I wasn't able to conclusively fix it, so I got the data off for the person. By data off I meant I just copied off their monster sized drive. It is pretty much a very clean machine. So that was half the problem, is that there really wasn't anything definingly wrong with it. See, I can't remember what size this drive was. Oh, 512 gig, yeah, that's right. That was a win. Can't complain about that. And what board have we got here? Oh yeah, this is the 3332. Yep. And unfortunately the U8900 was not the fault. So something else was at play. And I tried to fix a few things, but I couldn't in the end find anything conclusive. And I didn't want to charge the person anything for it because of the fact that it wasn't conclusive. And they just said, well look, we're going to upgrade to a new machine, so if you would like to exchange the migration of data off that system, you can keep it. And I was like, hell yeah. Selling the screen alone would actually probably net me more income. Okay, where are my storage containers? Yeah, that'll do. It happens here, Lewis, because I'm actually good at what I do and I get things out the door. Just kidding. I spend too much time working on Flex Boardview that I just sort of tend to not go out and market enough for the everything else. Because I need to be able to, at the end of the day, I am more of the tool maker, software maker type person rather than a repair person. I mean, I do the repairs because it obviously brings in money. Award-winning software, Pedro. Whoa. Okay. Send me a message what award I've won. Jesus. Did I really do that? That's terrible. Let me have a look at that all over again. So what's the new title of the stream going to be? Paul Burns Lewis. By the way, is Oreo back home? Or am I going to have to report you to the PETA? Programming brings no money. No, programming brings money, but I don't do it as a contractable service. I'd rather contract other things. I'd rather contract herpes than do software as a service under contract. And dear God, man, you know, you do that as a youth and you realize it's death. And so from there you just run away from that anytime it comes up. Okay, I'm going to need to reheat this board, flush it out. I'd say I must have been getting pretty frustrated with this one. It was a long time ago. Like back when Lewis had maybe 100,000 subscribers. But yeah, this is just a flux fest. No, it's not broken. It's... Yeah, I don't contract programming. Contract programming is really... It's a terrible thing to do to yourself. Do not do it. In 99% of cases what happens is the person gives you their version of a specification, software specification, requirement specification, and then you implement that, and then 99.9% of the time after you've implemented that, they decide at the end of it, oh, that's actually not what I meant. The hardest part of contract programming is getting your client to do a proper specification and actually sticking to it. Honestly, it's like doing web pages. Do not become a web developer, because you'll end up encountering zillions of people who are never happy with what you do, and they will charge file backs and all sorts of stuff, and then make videos about how bad you are, force you to have to cough up the money, things like that, you know. I really want to put this through the ultrasonic cleaner. That flux has been sitting around too long. We'll just wash it off though. Man, give me my air filter. Oh yeah. Take those fumes away. Tech Fortress. Anyone who does razors won't be for long. Is there anyone that actually has done razor repairs and lasted more than a year? Because the razor cult, they're just a crazy bunch of people. Yeah, JP, scope creep is pretty bad. And the thing is, you're doomed with it because usually you don't have... It's not worth the legal wrangling most of the time to get them to pull into line. Honestly, damn it. The day I don't turn on the flux, the ultrasonic cleaner is the day I want it. See you, Lewis. Thanks for losing the bet. You're a good sport. I'm going to remove the edge bonding on this and give that a bit of a reflow. I've often had corrosion sitting under there. And since we've had some issues here, it wouldn't be entirely unheard of. Oop. Lost a couple of caps there. It's almost like that time with the SMC. It's okay, we'll put them back. Does this chip have a mark? When you say mark, do you mean to indicate pin 1 and stuff? It does. It's just you can't see it because of the lighting. Stuff doesn't want to come off. Crazy J, no, it's 3332. But it's already had U8900 fixed up on it. So I can't blame that. But I'm kind of curious, it looks like I've got some dark corrosion going on just under here, or it could just be a bit of dirt. No, I think it's just a bit of dirt. Yep, that's all it was. Guess we better put these back. Got that one, and that one went flying. $37.80. Like I said, this is the 3332. Mr. Fluxman's not here, so I can do terrible things like that. I need to find out what that board. See if I've got a 3332. I don't have too many donors for that. Oh. Nice. For sure, the big problem with the 3332 getting donors in that of those caps in that area is they're usually knocked off because of the RAM extraction. And we're lucky this time. Interesting, there's actually 3 there. No, I was not expecting there to be 3. Alright, 3 it is. I imagine right now he's complaining to Erica. And he's probably seriously considering taking down that web page where he strongly recommends me. He's going to be having second thoughts on that one. I could have sworn there was no cap there. I'll have to go back in the video and have a look. Do you have to think about replacing thermal paste and clear the dust? What? Oh, you're talking about the razor. Cat was there. Thanks, Jimbo. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have you ever thought maybe Lewis is not the dealer? What if Lewis is just a victim? He can't help himself. He wakes up each day, gets his shot of flux. No, this flux sucks. So I can get a better idea of what's going on down here. Flux would help. No, I don't use a micro pencil. I probably should get one because I do occasionally do iPhones, of course, and I think that more than anything else is where they really do come into their own. But aside from that, I generally find I get along fine without needing the micro pencil. Not to mention they're pretty expensive because you need the holder, the pencil, everything else. The resistor's got a little colour tinge in it. It's going to load up a 3332 Boardview. Yeah, Jimbo, that'd be nice having the augmented reality like that. I've seen some people try to do things with it, but it's quite tricky trying to combine. If you're trying to do optical integration, it's easy enough if it's digital, but if you're trying to overlay your optical microscope view with sorry, I'm kind of being distracted here. Okay, you should be at 24.9K. Yeah, it's pretty much smack on. You can get the hand piece separate. Yes, you can. But, like I said, it doesn't properly fit into the holder of the standard size. You look a bit beaten up. You don't look super important, but you do look beaten up. Yeah, you're just a general decoupling cap. One of a gazillion. I'll clean up your endpoints, but what we're looking for here is something that's probably corroded and been intermittent. So a dodgy cap really isn't going to be that at fault. That there though, under there, that looks wrong. See how it's got that, you can't quite see. Yeah, they're a little more expensive than $80 here in Australia. See how it's got, I don't know if you can, it's got a bit of a yellow tinge around it. That to me is a bit suspicious. And since it's suspicious, I will remove it. Yeah, dodgy is the best. And Jess's version, of course, is shonky. Yeah, that's definitely dodgy, that one. Get off your mangy. Okay. But again, it's not a super critical part. It's just one of a gazillion of them. Yeah. Ignacia, you'll really like the change to the quick, that's for sure. I've also had one of the more budget orientated ones before, and you know, it works fine. But if you're doing MacBook repair, it's really hard to substitute anything but something like the 861. So it's an investment, but fortunately it's not a massive investment compared to what it used to be. So hopefully you will find it dramatically changes and improves things for you. Yeah, $250 exactly from Mechatronics. Yeah. Which is why I haven't got one. I mean, yeah, sure, I could spend the money, but it's definitely going to be I'm going to have a hard time justifying it. Because I send most of my ultra delicate phone jobs, I send down to Bill in Geelong. Basically what I do is I ruin the phone and then I send it to Bill and say, can you fix up what I've ruined? Because, yeah, I'm a nice guy like that. So we've got a lot of this edge surface corrosion going on, and you see that a fair bit, particularly if you deal with 2936s, 3115, A1278 type boards. But it rarely is actually at fault. It's just more of a general surface corrosion type thing. Now that area looks pretty damn bad. There. Man, I should have fired myself. I didn't pump it enough. Gross. Man, I've got snow everywhere. Cloudy white snow. That ain't right. Well, this is not yellow snow. Wait a second. Is that popcorn? Please tell me that there are resistors and stuff on the board under this chip. Because it sure doesn't look popcorned. Okay, yep, it's all good. Woo! Well, it looked pretty bad before, but now that it's cleaned up, it's actually not so bad. Yeah, that actually looks perfectly tolerable. It's the flux that was causing the problem, old flux. Okay, I hadn't noticed that cat being chewed out before. It doesn't look so great. 0.13. Hey Chuck, welcome. Hey Rob Brown, sorry I just saw you there. Alright, let's see, that cap. For sure that's you there, 5800. Again, you're just general bulk decoupling. Hard to blame that directly. Hey Jeff Traffair. We'll just flux and resolder that, see how it behaves. Sometimes they will reveal themselves when you hit them with a bit of flux and solder. Yeah, it just looked bad, it wasn't actually. The green stuff is certainly creeping around. Honestly, you could spend ages going over these trying to find that one damn... It'll most likely be a resistor. Something just got chewed out by the corrosion perhaps. The pad underneath it's been eaten away. It's making enough contact to keep itself alive under most circumstances, but every now and then when the board gets a little warmer it decides, nope, I don't want to be part of this world anymore. These are very much some of the most difficult things to sort out. And I think that's what happened here, is the time was ticking on. And yeah, the customer was wanting a answer one way or the other. And I think in the end it was probably collectively 6 or 7 hours of messing around. And in the end I said, well, I can't guarantee it's going to work, so I'm going to say it's non-functional in terms of reliability. Gotta get a new one. I mean, people won't be happy about the fact they've got to go and spend a couple of $1,000s on a new MacBook, but they'll forget that quick enough. When they're happy with their new MacBook and it's working and they're getting their work done, in a few days they'll be like, oh, I'm glad I got the new machine. At least you hope so. For me, if nothing else, at least I scored a chassis out of it. Yeah, I'll have to try. That's why I'm saying. That's why I say I'm happy that I got the chassis out of it, because the screen is worth quite a bit on these. You gotta try buy a replacement retina screen for these. It's a good couple of $100. And the nice thing is, I do have a test machine now. Ooh, look at that one. Look at that one. See, now that's getting borderline trouble. Okay, so where was that? Honestly, it's like I was blind when I was going over this. Okay, so it's like current sensing, stability. I'm not sure that Apple stuff corrodes any worse than any other brands. It's just it's simply a case of we notice it more because people bring their stuff in. Whereas with PCs, it's most of the time it goes into the dumpster before it even gets to you. There we go. Just wanted to get that focus right. Let's see. Brown and chunky, yes indeed. Alright, so that, I really need to move my overhead. It's just a little bit too directly above the microscope camera. Okay, so C3820. Pretty sure that's what you are? Yep, C3820. You are just a general, like, decoupler. But, it could be. And it is Thunderbolt, though. No. Still, I think it'd be worth replacing that. I mean, certainly different gear tends to live better than others. I mean, your part density on these things is just ludicrous. I mean, it kind of came off a little easy. It probably just needed a reflow. It probably wasn't really at fault. But that is sort of what we're chasing, that kind of bit of corrosion. But again, unfortunately, that was on a cap as opposed to a resistor. Yeah. The fun thing is with these is I could have actually already fixed it now, just simply by reflowing and fluxing. For all I know, I've inadvertently rectified the issue and I won't even know. And this is why we're doing it when we've got nothing else in the queue. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with this 433 if I fix it. I think at some point I've got to realise that I can't have every single MacBook. Well, the problem is, the reason why I haven't bothered to put it back into the chassis yet is because I know, oh god damn, I know it will run. And it will run for a couple of hours. And then just out of the blue it'll decide, change my mind, not running now. Last few laptops repaired, found the motherboards 35 to 100 on eBay. Why waste time repairing by components? I'm guessing you're talking about PC stuff. That said, I have noticed that things like A1466s are now being sold very cheap on eBay. Cheaper than it is to repair it in many cases. So, and I know myself, I've got a fairly decent stock now of repaired boards. To the point where it's often just easy for me to swap it out, get the customer on their way. Where'd I put my surgical knife? Oh, there it is. Might have something faulty that fails when it gets hot. That is quite possible too, yeah. I know I've junked quite a few machines because of thermal type faults. Usually something in the PCH. But from what I remember, this one wasn't really thermally sensitive. Just a lot of that little subtle corrosion around. Sort of thing where you need to fail completely before you can find it. Well, I should still make a note of this anyway. Blue switches? What are we looking at? Ignacio, yeah, that's a blue switch keyboard. I don't quite like them as much as buckling spring ones, but it'll do. D-Sinister, it's an intermittent fault to the point of several hours will go by before it just shuts itself down. So, yeah, I'm just sort of going around looking at all the corrosion areas and seeing if anything's a win. So I mean, none of that's really, it's all very surface. Nothing you could say, oh yeah, you're at fault or anything. That resistor looks a little mangled and you guys look a bit mangled. But it's all lies. Scratch the nose. Justin, I've tried that before, couldn't get anything to misbehave consistently. Okay, go over it and over it with the hot air. Like I said, the real problem that I've got with this is the fact that it takes hours before it crashes out. And it just doesn't have any yet reason or rhyme. But certainly I have fixed quite a few using the old heat upper section, see how it behaves, see if it shuts down. But this one doesn't seem to respond to that. No. Let's see what U8900 itself looks like. What? Surely I did it. Yeah, I've done it. You can tell because the test pads are covered in solder. But I'll do it again. Thank you, Pedro. Yeah, gotta watch that with these UU8900. Taking this resistor off is all too easy, and it's interesting behaviour when you do that. And I've got the cap too. That's okay. We'll come back to that cap. If you do take that resistor off, it tends to cycle down the road and get you a nice cup of fresh coffee and come back and just kidding. Yeah, the board just sits there and stop start. I need some assistive heat here. Downside is, of course, it causes the flux to blow away. I do find with the U8900 that you really do need assistive heat. Or at least with the JSO2 you do. The resistor is this one here, and I'll give you the number. It's R8940, and it's graphics current bias resistor R8940. But yeah, it's really easy to knock it off when you've got a fat soldering iron tip. More flux. Yeah, I'll be glad when I get some fresh new flux, because this stuff, it just keeps running away from the tip of the iron. What's futile? I better put that cap back before we forget about it. That's just a blob of, yep, flux. Maybe I've done enough for now and put it through the ultrasonic, run it overnight, see what it does. To be honest, I'd prefer to just get it fixed up, maybe sell it. I'm sort of in a bit of a sell everything mode at the moment because I'm trying to get my 15,000 for a house deposit. And so I can worry about collecting MacBooks after I've done that. The new fume hood is doing good, the new configuration. It's drawing away everything. I'm not smelling any flux fumes. AKG mobiles. There's just so much of this slightly greenish corrosion everywhere. Sometimes putting it through the ultrasonic is gainful for the fact that it causes whatever might be almost broken to completely break, which is an interesting situation because when you're trying to data recovery on mobile phones, that's the last thing you want. You know, usually you try not to put them through the ultrasonic for that reason, just in case you can just get that little bit of connection left there and you want to get the data. But for Macs, you know, we basically just want to repair them to work on them so we can use them again. But at this stage, I think I'm just spinning my wheels. Do you run some graphics torture programs? Stress to it. Yes, I run a thing called Unigine Valley test. So just look up Valley graphics test and it'll take you to the place. Ignacio, want to do more MacBooks? Do you think buying broken MacBooks from eBay is a good idea? I think the problem with buying broken MacBooks from eBay is that there is a huge amount of completely trash ones that really have no business being repaired. If you want to go that route, then stick with things that have a known reasonably good chance of repair. Things like 2013 onward A1466s. If you want to go really cheap, then try find some 2012 A1278s. That's the 13-inch 3115 board in that. So they're a good sturdy beast. I mean, a lot of people will be snapping them up already, but yeah, it's worth trying. I find the best source tends to be the people around you who aren't putting it on eBay. So if you can find friends or family, people like that, it's often the best way. On eBay, they so often misrepresent what they're selling. Yeah, this could also be a dud battery. That'd be tremendously funny if it was. Hey, Hathra. Yeah, I think we're going to call this for the day, simply so that I can put it through the testing, because right now I'm just going around doing nothing. Yeah, I'm not really finding anything that looks like a smoking gun. So ultrasonic, stress test it, see if it does it again. If it runs for 2 days without... Hey, there's those those bits that we lost right at the start. There we are. That's where they ended up. Hey chaps. It's amazing that that's stuck on there the whole time. Yeah, I'm just spinning wheels here. Okay. The screen's a bit wobbly because the overhead camera, this one up here, is attached to the fume extractor. I have to, tomorrow I'll get some brackets that I can put onto the walls directly, and then they won't suffer any of the vibration. Put an ad on Gumtree. I tried that and that was really tragically bad outcome. Hey Swiftrick. Are you using Flux name and company brand? Well, yeah, I'm using the Amtech NC559V2, but I don't know whether they had a batch issue or something, but a lot of us have found it's not performing like it used to. So I don't know whether they, and it's still got a month or so before it expires. So go figure, I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, some ice cream and coffee. Well, certainly coffee. I don't know about ice cream just yet. I'll leave that to my late night thing. But I am going to go do some programming. I need to get the Boardview version ready to go because, if Lewis is in a good mood, then I can get him to upgrade his Boardview. So I want to make sure that it is as best condition as I can possibly get. Because as you know, Lewis being an expert user, he will find pretty much anything and everything that's wrong with it. So I need to double down and really get really picky about what's going on with it. I think he'll upgrade and she'll... I can only hope so. The other thing I need to do is create more of the... the repair sequences But funnily enough, he is actually one of the better people to produce those, but he might simply transcribe them to get like hi or Anel or someone like that to do that sort of work. The other thing I can do is I can actually watch his videos and create the sequences from that instead. Martin from Argentina, hello, welcome. Let's see, the free education there wasn't much free education in this one, but I appreciate you thinking that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really hoping the new feature will sell him in. This looks like I'll put myself over here. Great. And this one does not have what I was looking for. The 165 does. Yeah, the board solutions type thing. So like you can put in here, you can have a summary of the board, so you can sort of, like say if it was this particular board, the 3332, one of the first things you'd have in the summary is redo the U8900 anytime that you get this board, things like that. Just the usual main things that are known to go wrong, and then you can break it down to more specific things. Like here I've got diagnosing the backlight issues, and you click on okay, so you want to check that pin 3, which is the backlight enable, make sure that's running. If it seems to be running, you're not getting brightness, and check your PWM. Yeah, just all things like that. And these are all just written in plain text. There's nothing special about them. It's kind of like HTML, and you just do a little bit of a markup for defining what the parts and networks are. It makes it very useful, I think, certainly for when your brain gets a bit flustered, like I do very easily, particularly when I get problematic users turn up. And you can just step by step go through these sequences, and it should make repairing things a lot easier for the fact that you don't have to try and remember everything, which leaves more room in your brain to remember the things that maybe not so easy to remember. This is the GitHub project. Pedro, this is a slightly different variant. It's sitting on top of the GitHub version. The GitHub one handles all of the stuff you can see up here, the diode, volts, and resistance mode type things, and all this data down the side here. And looks like, yeah, see, this is the small things I'm talking about. See how it's going off the edge there? Really, that should be in a little more. Oh, well. Pardon me. That should also, yeah, comes up when you hover over it too, so. It's all the little things, that last 1% in software developing, that changes it from being it's an okay product, it does the job, to I actually want to spend money on that product. Alright. Okay, well, it's almost getting dark here, so which is kind of a change for me. Normally I'm the other way around, I only work in the dark. So I guess I better scoot-a-loot. But thank you all for watching. I know it was a bit of a drag, that one. We didn't really get any like yay big wins or anything like that, but I'll see how this 3332 goes. Maybe if it works, then I'll let us all know later. But it was a bit amusing at least to try and fix that 165. Was it 3437? I can't remember. Ended up being CPU after I was told definitely it wasn't a CPU, so that was a win for me in the book of bets. Alright. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you all. Watch out for the bunyips, don't let the dingoes bite, and I'll see you next time.